Managing change and innovation. Topics to be discussed include two views of the change process, external and internal forces for change, calm waters versus whitewater rapids metaphors of change, Lewin's three-step model of the change process. Managing organizational change, including definition of organizational change, contrast internal and external change agents, and explain how managers might change structure, technology, and people. Managing change and the reasons why people resist change and how this can be managed. Contemporary issues in managing change, which include reasons why organizational cultural change is so difficult, stress and how managers can help employees deal with it, and how to make change happen successfully. Lastly, stimulating innovation, the system's view of innovation, structural, cultural, and human resource variables necessary for innovation, and the importance of idea champions to innovation. What is the change process? What is change? Organizational change is any alteration in the people, structure, or technology of an organization. What are the characteristics of change? Change is constant yet varies in degree and direction. It produces uncertainty yet is not completely unpredictable. It also creates both threats and opportunities. Managing change is an integral part of every manager's job. What are the forces for change? External forces include the marketplace, government laws and regulations, technology, labor markets, and economic changes. On the other hand, internal forces include changes in organizational strategy, workforce changes, new equipment, and employee attitudes. What are the change process viewpoints? These include the calm waters metaphor, which is Lewin's description of the change process as a break in the organization's equilibrium state. This includes unfreezing the status quo, changing to a new state, and freezing to make the change permanent. On the other hand, the whitewater rapids metaphor shows the lack of environmental stability and predictability, requiring managers and organizations to continually adapt or manage change actively in order to survive. What are some change agents? Change agents are persons who act as catalysts and assume the responsibility for managing the change process. Who can be change agents? Managers or internal entrepreneurs, non-managers or change specialists, and outside consultants or change implementation experts. What are the three categories of change? These are structure, technology, and people. Structure includes work specialization, departmentalization, chain of command, span of control, centralization, formalization, job redesign, or actual structural design. For technology, we would have work processes, methods, and equipment. And for people, we have attitudes, expectations, perceptions, and behavior. What are the different types of change? We have structural change, which includes changing an organization's structural components or its structural design. Technological change, which is adopting new equipment, tools, or operating methods that displace old skills and require new ones. These include automation, which is replacing certain tasks done by people with machines, and computerization. Another type of change is people change, which includes changing attitudes, expectations, perceptions, and behaviors of the workforce. Organizational development is technique or program to change people and the nature and quality of interpersonal work relationships. What is organizational development? Techniques or programs to change people in the nature and quality of interpersonal work developments or relationships. Global organizational development includes OD techniques that work for US organizations but may be inappropriate in other countries and cultures. What are the different organizational development techniques? These include sensitivity training, survey feedback, process consultation, intergroup development, and team building. Sensitivity training is a method of changing behavior through unstructured group interaction. Survey feedback includes assessing attitudes and perceptions, identifying discrepancies, and resolving differences using survey information in feedback groups. Process consultation includes an outside consultant who helps the manager understand how interpersonal processes affect the way work is being done. And intergroup development, there is changing attitudes, stereotypes, attitudes, and perceptions that work groups have about others. Team building includes activities that help team members learn how each member thinks and works. So, how do we manage change? Managing resistance to change. Why do people resist change? This is due to the ambiguity and uncertainty that change introduces. This is also due to the comfort of old habits, a concern over personal loss of status, money, authority, friendships, and personal convenience, and the perception that change is incompatible with the goals and interests of the organization. What are the managerial actions to reduce resistance to change? These include education and communication, participation, facilitation and support, negotiation, manipulation and cooptation, selecting people who accept change, and coercion. What are the issues in managing change? Changing organizational cultures. Since cultures are naturally resistant to change, conditions that facilitate cultural change include the occurrence of a dramatic crisis, leadership changing hands, a young, flexible, and small organization, and a weak organizational culture. What are the strategies for managing cultural change? These include to set the tone through management behavior, top managers, particularly